Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. This podcast is a weekly revealing of the recovery journey of peer support specialist Trent Thomas. Join him on his internal research-driven dive into what to and what not to do in sustaining recovery. His weekly episodes demonstrate that you are not alone, and what we can't do alone, we can do together. This life is hills and valleys, but we were built for struggle. These weekly episodes are a journey into his life lessons as he fulfills his daily mandate to help someone other than himself. Welcome. The Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. Welcome to the Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. This is Trent Thomas, your recovery peer support specialist. Tonight's episode is entitled Being a Man in Recovery. A man is the highest form of creation on this planet. Being a man is a tremendous opportunity and a mighty responsibility. It entails the aversions of the pitfalls that affect every man, as well as the ownership of all the powers that are attributed to the majesty that is man. So high was the creative genius of God that when announcing the creation of man, a proclamation was sounded to the entire universe. Look at what I have created and see that it is good. In God's eyes, to be labeled good is the highest mark of accomplishment. With all that God had created from his mind's eye, it was man that garnered his extreme praise. A praise shouted to every living entity in the known and unknown universe. Yet this proclamation was exerted after the complete entity of man was in fact formed. Man was incomplete until his counterpart was manufactured as if from his very rib. The woman completed the creation of man. Man was not complete until the existence of woman was certified. It was as if God went back into himself and drew from his alter ego and drew upon opposite internal qualities to produce the creation we call woman. What was minor characteristics in man became dominant manifestations in woman. Her primary core became what was lacking in man. Her means of summarizing life and her chief characteristics were opposite the logical, analytical mindset that was man's primary characteristic. His means for avoiding and dealing with danger and offer protection, his analyzation for fight or flight, was replaced with emotional displays of fear and dependence on someone else to deliver a concise method of approaching and dealing with threats and managing life's hills and valleys. Primary characteristics are the fulfillment of immediate reaction to a immediate threat or response to a threatful situation. Man became complete when coupled with his ingenious counterpart. It was only then that the complete entity called man was pronounced to the universe as right and exact. A completed creation called good by the righteous standards as defined by God, the magnificent creator of all that exists in the entire universe. This would include sun, moon, and stars. That's all suns, all moons, and all stars, planets, and all sun or other creations known and unknown. This would include angels, archangels, and any other entities regardless of size or location. From the smallest nanocells to the largest superstars or novas. In fact, there exists no other creation that warranted the proclamation of mastery of creation as directed by our grand Creator. In the mind of God, there exists no creation greater than his creation of the completed combination of man and woman. This union is unique and unparalleled in all of God's creative substances. Never had God reached the level of excellence than he reached when he manufactured the union of man and woman. Together, man and woman are one entity universally called man. The free will entity called man recognizes God's never before constituted being, which possessed the unique ability to live free from indoctrinated nature and could aspire to God-like qualities. Qualities that bore only one universal mandate, and that mandate was the law of all decisions warrant either consequences or rewards. Rewards for good or correct decisions, and consequences for bad or wrong decisions. This free will placed man in a unique setting of being like God. To this creation he was given dominion over the earth. Utilizing his outstanding intelligence, man could achieve God-like manifestations, only limited by his imagination and will to succeed, and accomplish the extraordinary and amazing. With his godlike intelligence, man could fly higher than the swiftest bird, swim faster than the fastest fish, and achieve life apart from the very planet he was created on. The union of man and woman also positioned man to be fruitful and subdue the earth. Under God's permission, man could subjugate the entire earth. Man could also destroy the entire earth and make waste to the same creations God left for man to master over. Man's free will installed tremendous responsibility on man to warrant rewards for proper decisions, as well as severe consequences for wrong or bad decisions in regards to mastering the earth left to our care and keep. With every praise to our God, we represent the good and bad results of our decisions. Collectively, we all bear the end result of our manifestations of our power over the planet we inhabit. Each generation lives and dies with the success or failure of our collective decision making. To God, every knee shall bend, either willingly or unwillingly. As a man, a created being on this planet Earth, my decisions on how I personally treat this planet will be reflected ultimately in my next generation's respect or disrespect for the planet we inhabit. Man has a definite responsibility to serve and protect his family. He is in submission to God just as his family is in submission to him. In this respect, submission means under the protection of. Man is under the protection and guidance of God, and thus serves his family in the same manner. To guide and protect his family mean he is under a mandate to improve daily, to learn better, think better, perform better, in fact, be better each and every day. Man must cycle his achievement and base it upon servitude to his family, to his community, striving each and every day to just do better. Never content with passive stagnation, but rather on a constant carousel of achievement, an enduring imaginative ride of new excellence, measured in a rich undertow of excitable rhythm. Man must define himself with a new measure of success, not measured in the accumulation of things, but rather with the full value of enriched characteristics centered on giving, teaching, and serving the community at large. A man in recovery receives the blessings of internment deep in a well of serenity. A true and lasting peace built on making the very next right decision. A peace where one knows everything is already all right because all answers route through his God. All problems are satisfied by his God. A true measure of life with a peaceful existence wrapped beautifully in the gravity that is God's plan. All under God's true measure. True serenity where one accepts all the things he cannot change and possesses the natural courage to change the things he can, and equipped with the God-given wisdom to decipher the difference. For me, this is a man in recovery. This is Trent Thomas on another episode of Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. You can now subscribe to this podcast and receive special in-depth episodes for subscribers only, as well as a private personal email account directly with me for comments and show suggestions. In addition, I'll be doing podcast shout-outs to all those subscribers who request shout-outs. As always, your inspiring comments can be left at transnetrecover.com/podcast. Please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. #TransNetRecover. Thank you and have a blessed day.